Hi everybody, my name is Luke Parisi. I'm the developer working on the game BattleCourt. This video is a tech demo of where it's currently at before it's being released to beta, but there's still a lot of features that need to be added before even that phase. This game is a survival looter and shooter where you have to survive endless waves of enemies for as long as you can. The longer you survive, the more waves you get to. You'll obviously unlock achievements and find stronger guns, and those guns, there can be, I'm not sure the exact amount, but millions of combinations, because this game uses the engine I built for Lords of Delusia, and I've expanded on that, so the guns, all the gun system works a lot the same. I've brought in a lot of the guns from that and changed them up from how the bullets look. I've changed how the guns work overall in the code, and instead of having a prefix and suffix, they can have up to 6 or even more, but I've just put up to 6 modifiers which modify how the gun works. So this is just what I've done with the menu. The art style I'm going for is a real cartoony type look, but it's a mature audience, I guess, because I'm going to put a lot of blood effects, and that's going to stay on the ground as you play. So let's say you start off with, and I've just put this grey colour so I can see the outlines and everything, but say you start off with a grey floor, it'll probably be all red and that by wave 100 or something. What I've done so far with the engine is, so you have your player here, again, like Lords of Delusia, aims at the cursor. This cursor I'm going to change, I'm thinking, to a cartoon pointer, but I still have to do that. The movement has a slight acceleration, so it doesn't feel so static with your mouse presses. And obviously it'll have the controller support, because it's mono games derived from X and A, so it's only can support Xbox controllers at the moment. I have an Xbox 360 controller I'm testing with, which is okay, but I'm not sure if it will work with Xbox One. I'm guessing it will, but I don't have the controllers to test with. But at the moment I'm just using mouse and keyboard. So movement just like that, you can dash, and you dash by double tapping. On the controller it'll be, instead of double tapping, because you'll use the left stick for movement, or right stick, I can't remember, and the other stick will be for aim. So, and then one trigger, you press one trigger, it'll be dashing in the main movement direction you're moving. So say you're moving like this, I haven't done that section yet, but I'll have to figure that out. But yeah, so with that dash, I'm pretty happy with that effect. As well, down here you'll see the guns you currently have equipped. So this one's selected. I'm going to change this highlight effect as well. That's temporary. And if we fire the gun, the red, you can see this fills up, and that represents when the bullet's ready to fire again. So like these have a very low cooldown. I'll just put the music down. That music as well is just one song I've got licensed. I licensed a whole bunch more music for this, and it's more action music and a bit of heavy metal. So I don't really know if heavy metal and cartoon style will go well, but I guess you can adjust and change as it goes on. But yeah, say like this has a very low cooldown. So you can see, and like this, the love gun. I've got a few joke guns in there. And just shoots love hearts. But yeah, so these aren't the only guns. There's a whole bunch. So again, this menu I haven't finished yet. As you can see down here, it goes. All I'm going to do, I think, is just have a black outline that goes and hides all this section here, which goes on top of the inventory, and this isn't draggable. So you might notice here. So this, you won't start with all these guns. I've just put it in for testing. These are all the different type of guns that currently exist in the game. Every single one of these is a different gun. Now, at the moment with this demo, I've just got all the gun rarities set to common, but what actually happens is this color, this background color here, changes the color based on the gun's rarity. So say this Daddy's Mima gun, a charged cobalt plasma pulse, so that's the gun it is, but this is, I've got it generating random names for every gun. So Daddy's Mima is one name, and that's just random. Tried to add a bit of comedy to it, and just, yeah, like no scope surpriser. Some, when I see them, make me laugh a bit. Hopefully for the players as well, you'll have a laugh and try and find some funny names. But yeah, so these two names also change text color based on the rarity and the color here. So I've got that at the moment. It's not, so it's all done, it's all working. I've just, for the purpose of, I was testing each gun, the base, DPS and everything, I've just set them all to common, because common has no modifiers on the gun. So as you can see here, modifiers none. But let's say, so like Lords of Delusia, there was a few different rarities. For this, I've got Broken, which is the worst you can get, and that applies 2 to 3 bad modifiers. Above that is Damaged, which applies 1 bad modifier. And then we've got Common, which applies no modifiers. Then Uncommon, which applies 1 good modifier. And then, what was after that? Forgot. So Uncommon, I think Rare is after that. Yeah, Rare is after that. And that applies 2 to 3 good modifiers. And then Ultra Rare applies 4 to 5. And then Legendary, that's right. Legendary, which applies 6 good modifiers. And Unique, which applies 1 unique modifier. So the color theme is, so common here, you'll see the white background, or more of a grey. But Broken has a very dark grey background. Damaged has a lighter grey. And then this has the lightest grey. And then Uncommon is green. Rare is blue. Ultra Rare is cyan or light blue. Legendary is purple. And Unique is orange. If I do another video, I'm not sure if I'm going to, but if I do, I'll try and set up that again. I'll set it all back to, I guess, because I still have to do the enemies, the collision, the loot box drops, which isn't, loot box that you pay for. It's just the loot that the enemies drop. And once that's all set up, I might do another video, and then that'll have the colors back to the rarity. Yeah. So that's how the current system is at the moment. So each gun as well has tiers. The longer you progress into the game, the stronger guns you'll find. So let's say you're in the first 10 waves, you'll only find tier 1 guns, and that'll adjust. I'll adjust that based on balance. Let's say, wave 50 to 100, you'll see tier 2 guns, and so on and so on. And each wave will have, say, about 50 to 100 enemies. Maybe the starting ones might have 10 or so, just for the players to get used to the gameplay, I guess. And then the objective is to survive as long as you can, hence this timer here. But there's going to be a lot more. It'll say wave that you're on, and still got to put a health display here. And yeah, you've just got to, that's the objective of the game, is kill all the enemies and survive as long as you can. And the achievements will be set to the waves, or I guess the timer, depending what I go for in the end. So it's just a casual action shooter and looter. But the enemies, yeah, they won't be shooting bullets. So like Lords of Delusia has the enemies, and they shoot weapons at you. These will just be like dumb zombies moving. And another thing is, when I'm aiming, probably environments which include walls and everything. But if I do that, I'll need to incorporate the pathfinding, and I guess that's what I'm dreading the most, A-star pathfinding algorithm. I believe you can do it now, but I remember when I was at uni, I couldn't figure it out. But yeah, I think now. And so some environments might have, I guess, houses or factories with walls, and you can kind of cheese the AI that I'm going to build, or it's all going to be one open environment. And then this movement, how you see the player moving around the screen, depending on how big I make the maps as well, the player's going to stay centered until you reach the edge, and then once you reach the edge, then you'll start seeing movement like this. And then say we're in the bottom right edge, so you're in the center, the map's moving around as you walk, and then you get to the bottom right edge, and then you can start seeing it. That was a dash. So yeah, that's the gist of the game. I'll show you some of the guns. So I've cleaned up all the sounds. Cleaned up all the sounds of the gun firing, and I've changed all the bullet to this cartoony style. So let's put that, and you can use, so we click here, and I've got to still add feedback to show you. You can press, say you're on mouse and keyboard, you can click it with your mouse here, equip in slot 3, let's say, or 4, we put that one in, or let's say we want to save time, equip item, and you just press 1, 2, 3 or 4 to put it in that slot. So I pressed 1, it puts it in 1. Or if you're on, and that's why I've gone for 4 equip slots, because if you're on controller, you just use the D-pad to assign, so it'll be like up, down, left, right. I was thinking to change the shape of this as well, but I'm just going to leave it like that. I was going to move it into the shape of the D-pad if you've got controller connected, but I'm just going to leave it for that, and then maybe after release, see if there's any feedback and what people say. So let's say we put that in. You know, there's one example. There's one gun. There's some of the names as well. So just like Lords of Delusia, you have different gun types. So Cobalt, the Viper, the Griffle, rails, missiles, beams. These ones I've cleaned up a bit. Is this one a beam? Didn't I put? Yeah, that's a Cooper nickel beam rail. Scary boy. Let's put him on. So that's kind of, it's kind of messy, but the original way I've had the beams was instead of bullets firing, I had the beam back, and that stayed in position. But I've now changed the beams back to just fire bullets, because what I've done, and this was done in Lords of Delusia before I even started this, I just hadn't put a video on it as well. So originally I had with the collisions, it was all position rect intersections. So if the bullet position rectangle intersects the enemy's position rectangle, then it casts a collision event. But for things like the beams and rails, when the bullets are moving so fast, there was times that couldn't occur. So originally I had put in bullets, well, the bullets that move slowly, but the bullet backs just you saw. But what I've actually done about 2 weeks ago, I added angular, I think it's called angular ray casting, but now the bullets, so it's only going to be applied for rails and beams, but when you shoot, it calculates the angle of the bullet and compares it against the enemy's 4. So for the rectangle, it has the 4 points. It calculates that angle based on that enemy's 4 points angle compared to you. And then if those angles intersect, then it casts a collision So it doesn't need to collide with the bullet at all, it just needs to intersect with the angle that you're firing. So, you know, it's just an instant collision for that entire angle range. So say, you know, the rail, let's say we have an enemy here, it'll calculate the angle relative to your position. So your position is here, enemy's position is here. It'll go 0.1, 2, 3, 4, calculates the angle of that point, this point. So this one might be what? Yeah, actually, let's start here. This is 0. This is 0 pi radians in the game. Let's say we're aiming here. We've got these 4 points. Let's say this point relative to you is at pi over 4 radians. And then this one might be pi over 4 minus 0 point blah blah blah. It's just a slight difference, and then same with that one and this one. And then you grab all 4 and I get the min and max, the range of the angle, so it might be from this, between this and this. And then, yeah, that's the collision angle. So if you fire between that, then that enemy detects it's been collided with, even if the bullet's here. But yeah, that's, I guess, ray casting, and that's how ray casting works, but I pretty much just did it from, yeah, I don't even know if it works the exact same way as ray casting should work, but that's pretty much what I've gone for. And then, you know, you fire, and then boom, that entire line, if it contains enemies, will get collided, because the rails and beams both have pierce. So this is the freeze ray, so it freezes everything for 5 seconds. That's why it's got low damage for a tier 2. Yeah, that's pretty much, you know, the big beams, kind of giving them a bit of a fuzz. I don't know if you can see the edges there, the edges of the beams, but yeah. So that's how the guns work. Some guns, like Lords of Delusia, have a bit of inaccuracy. So here you can see the bullet spread. It's not exactly on the cursor. That's because of the, like this one is perfect, because it doesn't have any spread range on the firing. Same with the beams. But that's pretty much everything that's in the game at the moment. But yeah, so that's the point of this video, is to demo where it's at and what I'm going to be working on. So the next things I'm going to be working on from today is building the enemies now, and then working on the collisions, and then going to start bringing in the drops, and then I can remove this whole gun array list and then test out loot drops and rarities again. So yeah guys, thanks for watching. If you like this game, I'll try and put it up on IndieDB. Yeah, that's the website, I think. Well, yeah, I'm going to put up some information on there before beta release, and then I'm going to, hopefully within 3 weeks, I'm going to put it up as open beta on Steam. And the price, because it's a simple game, it's taken me a little while, but the price I'm putting it up for is $5 US. So, and that's in beta. And then if people start enjoying it and I get some feedback, I might even add more and more to it. I'm pretty excited about this game. The art style I really like, and the font I think suits it. I like the UI a lot better than the UI I made for Lords of Delusia. This one, because art isn't my strong point, I don't think. I like to do all the coding and that, but when it comes to the art style, well, the design and that, I kind of get unmotivated, but I've stuck to it. And these are simpler designs anyway, like this is a simple blue, and everything's got that black stroke through it, like a cartoon, I guess, look. But yeah, so you guys, thanks for watching.